Hi there, this is Vanessa Ho again, and today in this video, this is gonna be a part one of a multi-part video series that I'm gonna share with you some of the most basic, common Vietnamese phrases that I believe that you should know, learn, and practice when dating a mature Vietnamese woman, okay? But before I go on, once again, let me explain what do I mean by mature Vietnamese woman to you, okay? Those are the women who were born a few years before, right on, and a few years after the Vietnam War, because it is a crucial event in Vietnam's history. Okay, but I'm gonna have a big surprise for you. Since I think that I'm having a guest speaker that's gonna join me in this multi-part video series, okay? And I believe I'm strongly believing that he is a better fit than me to share with you these common phrases, because even though he is also a Vietnamese, but he's been living in the US for almost 45 years. So therefore, there's certain common phrases and some of the custom and cultures of the Vietnamese people that he's not familiar with up until now. Therefore, I asked him to be a special guest speaker for this series. Okay, so his name is Alex Nghiem, and of course, he is my boyfriend that I'm still kind of sharing with him and teaching him a lot about the Vietnamese culture, customs, and language. Yes. So please give him a big welcome, and that he's gonna help me to share with you and show you how to pronounce it and explain to you why those phrases is important for you to know if you're really serious into a relationship with a Vietnamese woman. Okay? So once again, his name is Alex Nghiem, so please welcome him into this series of videos, and you're gonna see him more often on some of other videos that we're gonna be on screen together. Okay, so once again, thanks so much for watching, and here we go, my special guest.
But first, how would you like an ongoing supply of free reports, helpful resources, and unique cultural insights for meeting, dating, and marrying a Vietnamese woman? Too easy. Just take a quick moment to subscribe and click the bell icon, and you'll never miss out again.
Hi, this is Alex. In this short video, I'd like to share with you some basic Vietnamese phrases that you may want to learn when you're meeting and dating a mature Vietnamese woman. Now, before I share these phrases with you, I need to clarify some key ideas that you need to be aware of so that what I'm about to share with you even makes sense. Like many Asian languages, the Vietnamese language is very formal when it comes to addressing another person, especially when you speak to your lady or somebody who's older, even that other person is unrelated to you or your lady. Doing this wrong can be considered rude and insulting to the other party, and we want to avoid that, right? So let's start with a simple hello, okay? So in Vietnamese, we rarely say just hello or hi. It's hello uncle, or hello auntie, or hello dear. Now, I'm assuming that you're going to be greeting her mom and dad at some point, which is why I didn't use hello mom or hello dad. Here's the thing I want to emphasize. You do not want to leave off the word after hello, because the sentence in many cases is literally incomplete, okay? So in the early days of dating, it's best if you address her by her name versus dear, since that's a little bit too intimate, right? So for example, let's just say her name is Lynn. So to greet her, you would say, hello Lynn. Let me say, okay. And in Vietnamese, that would be said, chào Lynn, all right? So I have a little board here, I'll show it to you, all right? So you can see what I mean, okay? So that's C-H-A-O for chào, and then Lynn in Vietnamese is L-I-N-H. So you would say, chào Lynn, all right? Now, here's the thing, a couple of things I want to enunciate for you so that some of the Vietnamese sounds make sense. The first word is pronounced chào, which is more like a J sound, okay? So it's more pronounced like J-O-W versus, you know, C-H-O-W, like in English. If you say that, you would be saying more like chow, all right? In Vietnamese, that word has no meaning, okay? So let me say it again. This word for hello or hi, C-H-A-O, it's pronounced with a J sound, all right? So again, that's pronounced chow. So The other thing that you need to be aware of in Vietnamese is that each word in Vietnamese can be pronounced in 5 different pitches, which then changes the word meaning. In some people call this call Vietnamese what's called a tonal language, meaning that each word can be pronounced at different tones. Okay, so if you listen closely, the first word, "chào," is spoken at a slightly lower pitch than the second word. If you say the first word without lowering the pitch, you would say "chào," and that word doesn't exist in Vietnamese. It literally has no meaning, right? It would just confuse the other party. Okay, so let me repeat this phrase again. All right, so again, if your lady's name is Lynn, it can be any name, but that's an easy one to pronounce. You would say "chào Lynn." Now, I'm not trying to teach how to spell, but if you notice above the word "chào," there's this little angle right here. That's how we know that the word, the word would be pronounced a little bit lower. All right. Now, as you two get closer, you can use the instead of calling her by her first name, you would substitute that word for "am," which is spelled "em." All right. So let me show you what that would look like. Okay. So that's what you would say, okay? Chào em, that's em. That's a way to say dear in Vietnamese, all right? So the word am is pronounced, the closest thing I can think of is like the Canadian word for a. You know how like some Canadians say a at the end of a word, and you just would basically instead of a, you would say am. It's a little bit higher pitched than in English, all right? So if you want to say hello dear, it would be pronounced chào em. And you would use that a little bit, later in your relationship with her. Probably not in the first date. Now, I know this is a little bit confusing, especially if you're speaking, in a Western language like English. But trust me when I tell you, when a Vietnamese speaker tries to learn English, it's very difficult for us to learn things like, tense, like the idea of past tense, present tense, and future tense. It's horribly confusing, right? When I first learned English many years ago, that was really hard for me to grasp. So each language has their own nuances. So I'm trying to make this as straightforward as possible. All right. So again, when you're just kind of quickly recap, when you're first meeting her, if her name is Lynn, you would say "chào Lynn," which means hello Lynn. And then as you get closer, you would say "chào em," which means hello dear. All right. Now let me share with you how to address her parents. Okay. Now, as I said, it's awkward a lot of times to leave the word off after hello, especially when you're addressing an older person. In fact, this is considered very rude and in many cases insulting. So I cannot emphasize this enough, all right? When you're speaking to an older person, especially her parents, you cannot just say "chào." It's considered horribly inappropriate and, as I said, borderline insulting. So that's something you want to avoid at all costs, all right? So let me explain, let me share with you how you would say this, okay? So now odds are you're probably not going to meet her parents on the first or second, date, but in the off chance that you're picking her up and her parents happen to be there, she's living with her parents or her parents are living with her, which does happen, then this is just, in case this happens, so I'm just kind of sharing you with this right now, all right? Okay, so I'm actually intentionally keeping this simple because there's actually 2 ways of doing this, where there's a gender specific way to do it, but rather than making it overly complicated, I'm going to show you how to do what I call the gender neutral version of addressing an older person. All right. So the second word right here is called "bác." It's a gender neutral version of addressing somebody that's older. You can interpret it as uncle or auntie or, whatever that may be. It's gender neutral. All right. So again, that would be basically saying "chào bác." Okay. Now, loosely translated, as I said, this is basically just means hello older person or hello elder. All right. Now, one thing here I need to emphasize, okay, if you're dating a younger woman and you're about the same age as her parents, in their eyes, you're their daughter's age. So you still have to address them as an older generation. So the concept of the, how to address somebody, it's not just whether you're the same age or not, especially when you're in a relationship like this. If you're dating a younger person, if you're meeting her parents or her uncle or her siblings, in their eyes, you're, for lack of a better word, the same age as her. So you have to address them as appropriately, even though biologically you may be the same age. This again can be a little bit confusing for somebody from the West, from a Western culture, but it's just the way that it is in the Vietnamese and most, Asian cultures. All right. So now here's something that, so let's get back to what I was trying to say here. All right. So to greet somebody, again, her parents or, her one of her maybe uncles, aunts, or something like that, basically in person, the older generation, you would say "chào bác." Now, if you look closely, right, above the word "a" here, there's this little kind of angular thing. What that does is it makes that word sound higher, all right? And so if you recall earlier, what I said is Vietnamese is spoken in different tones or different pitches. And so this basically makes the word, that accent makes the word sound higher, all right? So let me say this again. The word is pronounced back, okay? If you want a visual, right, think of kind of like the high pitch that a bird makes, kind of like awk, like when a bird's kind of making its, sound, awk. It goes up a little bit higher tone, right? So that's the thing I want you to kind of keep in mind here when you're saying that word. Back, it's a little bit higher tone than the word back, you see? So that tonality is what makes the Vietnamese a little bit difficult or unusual for somebody that's coming from, say, a tone neutral language like English or French even, okay? So again, this is I know it's a lot of material to cover for just two simple phrases, but I had to explain this custom, and I promise you, all right, the next several videos is gonna be a lot easier because in this video, I have to kind of explain some of the context of this because it's really hard to teach a language without at least understanding some of its basic customs. All right, so I'm trying to explain more than just two simple phrases here. I'm also trying to explain a little bit about the Vietnamese culture, which dates back over 1,000 years. Okay, now here's the thing, right? If you don't get the pronunciation exactly right, and even if she speaks fluent English, she will very much appreciate your attempt at learning the language. Okay, that communicates to her that you're in this for the long haul versus being in a fling. Okay, so nobody's going to sit there and basically say, well, that they're going to judge you on how well you speak Vietnamese. The intent of this video is just to kind of demonstrate that these are simple phrases that's just a matter of courtesy, and it's just a way for you to demonstrate that you're sincere in actually getting to know her better, and also getting to know her culture, and then respecting the fact that that this is something that's very important to her. I'm not trying to teach you the Vietnamese language. I'm actually not that fluent in myself. So, but these are just simple phrases that's universally used in almost any social context, especially when you're around Vietnamese people. All right. So again, in the future videos, okay, I'm going to share with you more phrases that you may want to learn. And like I said, if you found this video valuable, then I certainly would encourage you to, put the video, share your comments below this video. And I'd love to hear your feedback on, like what areas of this make sense or what area doesn't make sense. When you're first learning a new language, right, you're not just learning one or two words. You also have to kind of get the fundamentals of that language down. Otherwise, it's very difficult to make some of the basic sounds that language is based upon. So I picked the two most commonly used phrases, especially when you could be dating a woman, a Vietnamese woman. All right. So with that, let me end this video, and I'd love to hear your feedback on this video, and I'll be making guest appearances on these other videos in the near future as well. Okay. So this is Alex signing off, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.